All right, welcome to Guys, Guns, and Gears. We're going to see if we can make it through this video. It's my youngest kid's bedtime coming up, so I may be interrupted shortly. Wanted to give more of an in-depth tour of my toolbox, walk through a few of the decisions of why I've arrived at some of the tools that I have. So let's just kick it off. In my sockets and wrenches, or ratchets rather, you see a bunch of different things, including like a specialty socket, thin wall, snap-on socket. So most of these sockets are not snap-on. Really only a few of these sockets are snap-on. The rest, some of these I've had for a very long time, some SKs. A lot of my chromes are SK that I've had for, well over 20 years. They've been excellent sockets. Here we've got some Sunix sockets and gray pneumatic, I believe, in here as well. Been excellent, inexpensive brand. A lot of these have been used considerably. 3/4, obviously, one of the more commonly used sizes. I don't recommend going out and buying all the Mac or Snap-on top of the line. Even if you're making your living using your tools and using these all day, every day. I've had Snap-on, I have Snap-on. I'm not speaking against them in any way, shape, or form. You'll see I have quite a bit of Snap-on in some other areas. But when it comes to sockets, I don't go with Snap-on generally. I go with a lot of the cheaper ones. Some of the specialty, like a thin wall, that's a Snap-on. When you get into aluminum wheels and you need this, so this is a 19 millimeter, same as a 3/4. Another unique thing that I have in here is as you see here, standard sockets, but back here we've got these square drive sockets. These are SK. I don't believe you can get these anymore. I love this set. If you see this type of this real square drive, see if I can get that to oh boy, I'm not sure if I can get that to focus too well. But this square drive here, they're excellent for rounded off bolts. I don't use them very often, that's why they're way in the back, but they're really handy when you need them. A few other things that are pretty much must-haves if you're using tools on any regular basis. Impact swivels. This is a proper impact swivel. Never, ever, ever use this type of swivel on an impact. Very, very dangerous. It has its place, never on an impact. You see I've got a few different ones that have come with sets. They've been fairly well used, have held up. Again, I think some of these, this one is a Snap-on, this one's not, and these have held up. This is a newer, as you see right there, Taiwan in Sunix. Held up very well. Some 3/8 extensions. These are a Wobble Extension. Very handy to have. Again, not used very often. If you're going to start off with just any sockets to start, and you own an impact, even if not, I would probably start with impact sockets, because you can use and abuse these so hard and they'll just stand up. You can if you put this chrome socket on a breaker bar and really leaned on it, there's a good chance you're going to crack that socket. Or at the very least, the socket's going to deform and slip on the bolt and cause problems. Whereas in the impact, it's not going to. It is a substantial difference. It's not just simply chrome versus not chrome. Much higher tool quality steel used, and it works much better. This is an area, spend some money here, folks. This is a Snap-on set. I finally went a few years ago and bought an actual set. I gave my oldest son some of my older ones that I'd accumulated over time that were just mismatched brands. But adapters, buy high quality adapters. You see impact going from 3/8 to 1/4, non-impact going from 1/4 up to 3/8 for good reason, and 3/8 up to 1/2. But the rest is a proper impact quality steel. And that's very, very important, because if I'm going from a 3/4 to a 1/2, I'm putting a tremendous amount of force potentially in that tool. And I want that to be high quality and not break. So this is replaceable or repairable, rebuildable from Snap-on. Then impact swivel sockets. Very handy to have. You can see most of them have been used fairly frequently. Very nice. I will much quicker grab these versus an impact swivel adapter. As you see, I only have one set of these, and they're only metric. Just haven't really felt the need to spend the money on a standard set. All right, when we get into different adapters, when I buy my socket sets, I get the master set. So it generally comes with an impact swivel, extensions of various lengths, and it's very, very handy to have a wide array of these. May even combine some and make some super extensions from time to time. Really, really handy to have. In the ratchets, here you'll see a snap-on, some SKs, another snap-on. I think this is a gear wrench. Yeah, I've had that for quite a while, never broke it. The name brand ones will be lifetime rebuildable, lifetime warranty, like the snap-on, long snap-on flex head. I think this is a SK breaker. It's been very good quality. I have bent these by putting pipes on them, stepping on them, and I've broke any number of these over the years. Don't skimp out on your ratchets. Definitely don't skimp out on breaker bars. I think I broke my last one working on something on the side of the road and ended up getting this, I don't remember where, K-tool. It's held up pretty good. Haven't broken it. All right, I had to pause, say goodnight to my little guys. All right, wrapping up on this, I do have all the way down to 1/4 inch. In what I do, I don't use that a whole terrible lot. You see, I don't have a large array of 1/4 inch. Just a note on ratchets. I actually recommend buying, even though these two look exactly the same, they're very different. This snap-on is fairly fine tooth, but when you compare it to this older SK, it's extremely fine tooth ratchet. So when you're working in a tight spot, it's worth having a fine tooth ratchet. I give up a little bit of strength going to the fine tooth versus a coarse tooth. Like here, you can hear that click, and this one, you don't even hear it click. You barely even feel the teeth as I go around. Getting a long-handled one, certainly fine tooth is not so important. Flex head, fixed heads, few different variety here. I like old school. I don't have the rubberized coating. I don't know, it's just what I like. But buy a good brand, stick with it. Vary brands, who really cares? It's just got to get the job done. Here's another one I'll show too. This long extension actually locks on. So this ball here locks. When I pull the collar back, it releases it. Some of these tools that you'll see in the box, I don't use very often at all. But that one time you need it, maybe it's once a year, maybe it's not even that often, and you need it, it is so handy. So as a rule, once I need something or have to borrow something a few times within a decent time period, I put it on my list, and when I see it on sale or for a decent price, I'll snag it up. See a few specialty sockets. I've kind of got these scattered around. Castle nut sockets, different drive nuts and drive lines of Dana axles and various different things. So there's a few specialty things. All right, here's another one. If you have not seen these, this is probably my, I don't know, 3rd or 4th set, I guess, now that I think about it, of these impact extensions. So these are specified to a specific foot-pound. So you see here 100 foot-pound and larger and less. So when I'm installing lug nuts on a vehicle, I grab this, put it on my electric impact, throw a socket on there, and it won't tighten much past 100, maybe a few past or a few under, but it's quite accurate. Never ever had lug nut come loose. Been using those for a lot of years now, probably about 25, 30 years. And you'll see a lot of shops use these. You can even buy them with a socket on the end. So if I was a tire shop, I'd have a few of these in the common sizes. In the 100 foot-pound is very common for lug nuts. Yeah, you see a few different little miscellaneous things. Every once in a while, I'll have to make a tool. So this is just a cheap tool, performance tool. Cheap wrench I had around. I don't even remember what I needed it for, but I kept it. So apparently I thought I'd need it again sometime. Don't be afraid to custom make something. I don't remember. But anyway, apparently I needed it at one point. So there's a breakdown of my sockets. And that's 10 minutes. That's plenty. Hopefully that helps. We'll go on to the next video.